everyone, I'm going to do a video on a summer look featuring some blues on my eyes, some aqua tones from my MAC palette, and make it very fresh for any summer party that you might have to attend. So here's what I've done. I've kind of played up with a few shades of blue and smoked it out. So if you want to know how I did this, so keep watching.
So I started off with my Clinique Beyond Skin Perfecting Foundation, and I used a Real Techniques flat foundation brush first to even out the color over my face, and then I used a damp uh, sponge like a beauty blender dupe. Here I use the Real Techniques Miracle Sponge to give it a more airbrushed and a natural looking feel. Then I used my Magic Decrease eyeshadow primer potion by L'Oreal and used my fingers to smooth it out over the eyelids. This helps the eyeshadow to stick on to the eyelids and stay on for long hours. Then I took my MAC palette, which I've customized, and I used the color Electric Eel over the inner corner of my eyelids and up to the middle of it. I used a flat shader brush to deposit color. First I used a windscreen wiper motion, and then I added more color by using more of a patting motion because these colors are very intense and may take a few applications to get the desired intensity. Once I was happy with my desired intensity, then I kind of looked back and saw if both the eyelids were even in their color payoff. Like a flat shader brush allows you to pack in more color. Then I used the color Atlantic Blue by MAC, and I took it on a slightly larger shader brush which was more fluffier, and that kind of helped me to pick on the color and place it in a much more diffused manner over the outer corner of my eyelids. First I packed in color over the outer corner and made sure the intensity was all right for the color, the look that I wanted to achieve, because this kind of will need you to keep going back and forth to get the desired intensity, and you might want to pat on the color because that enables you to pack in more color, while windscreen wiper motion was more useful when you want to diffuse it out. Then I took the same brush and I kind of used the end of it, the fluffier end of it, and used it across the crease, almost midway into the crease, lightly defining it. And I had a very soft hand, like a light hand when I was doing it, because if you draw a very intense line, then it's difficult for you to diffuse it off later on. And I kind of brought it midway into my lid so that I got the desired effect. Then I took a fluffy blending brush. I just used a generic brush. If you have MAC 217, use it by all means. And this brush had no color on it, and it was a clean brush which I used to diffuse the crease line that I just created with the darker blue color. And you have to kind of go back and forth and keep looking into the mirror to make sure how you're diffusing the color, and don't take it too high up to your brows. And then you might want to go back to your colors, the colors which you had used earlier, in this case the color used in the outer corner, and you might want to intensify that because when you're blending it, sometimes it diffuses the entire color. So you have to keep on doing blending and then adding more color, blending, adding more color till you achieve that smokiness which you desire. Then I kind of pull back on my eyelids to create a wing kind of a shape so that my eyes look longer and more doe-eyed and give it an almond shape. And then I went back with my blending brush to blend it all out, and kind of keep checking in between so that both the eyes are more or less equal. in the shape that you're trying to create. Then I took a white color from my MAC palette. I think it's MAC Vanilla, but I'll have to check and put back in the description box. And then I just use that to diffuse the crease lines or the harsh lines more, because this color will help you blend all the colors together. Then I took the same blending brush across the lid and blended both the colors and their line demarcating. And then it was time for concealer, and I used my MAC Pro-Longwear concealer in NW20 and used it with a domed shadow brush from Real Techniques, and uh, used it in a triangle below my eyes and between uh, my nose, and then use the same damp beauty sponge to blend it all out. And this concealer, which is a few shades lighter than me, also acts as a highlighter and will help you erase dark circles. And then I use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Natural as a setting powder. This powder does not give a flashback when you're trying to take pictures. For eyeliner, I use my MAC Fluid Line, which is a gel liner in Black Track, and used an angled eyeliner brush, like a bent eyeliner brush from Sonia Kashuk to outline both the eyes. I use it on my waterline as well because I kind of go for thicker eyeliner, but you could use thinner or as you're comfortable with. And there my eyes are done mostly. And I go off to blush. For blush, I use the NARS Orgasm blush, which is a lovely peachy pink tone with light gold flecks on it. And I think this is a universal favorite, which literally suits everyone. And I took a generic pink lip liner and used it to line my lips. And then I filled it all in with my MAC lipstick in Girl About Town, which is a hot pink. You can go for a nude lip if you feel that the eyes are really strong for you. And then I had completely forgotten about mascara, and I went back to my favorite mascaras, which is the Maybelline Falsies for my upper lashes. And you kind of want to wiggle your eye mascara from the base to pack in more intensity and then take them higher up. And I will use a similar mascara for my lower eyelashes, which is the Maybelline Falsies, and it has kind of two wands on both sides. So this is the wand for the lower lashes. It's almost a drugstore dupe for the Clinique lower lash mascaras at like half or quarter of the price. So this prevents the mascara from spreading down to your cheeks, which you've so beautifully concealed. And that's more or less the entire look. It's kind of a porcelain kind of a skin which hides your imperfections, and nice blue smoky eyes, which you can take from summer to fall for any evening out that you might want to attend. It's all about when you're comfortable with what kinds of makeup. I hope you liked it, and if you did, don't forget to click on like and subscribe to my channel.